I will evaluate how my personal values and beliefs impact my actions towards others by utilizing reflections from the self textbook. I will analyze how others impact me by utilizing reflections from the self textbook. I will set one self-care goal at the beginning of every month. I will do a reflection at the end of the month on the effectiveness of the self-care strategy outlined in the goal. I will review the OACYC Code of Ethics when unsure of how to proceed in an ethical dilemma. Go to oacyc.org, but it's not working. This is where I would usually go to review the Code of Ethics, but the site is under repair for now. I will research the cost of a membership to the OACYC and get one if it is affordable. Annual full membership fees are $90.40. I will evaluate risk and resiliency factors when creating client interventions. Here I have my case study assignment part 2, which I did on Laura. I discussed the predisposing factors, the precipitating factors, perpetuating factors, protective factors, which included internal resiliency, and her external supports. I will utilize relationship building skills such as questions, availability, and virtue to discern clients' interests or needs and create or alter programs to meet those interests or needs. I will ensure that clients are aware of the professional boundaries set by myself and the agency as outlined in the policies and procedures. So I have here the Rapport Youth and Family Services Policy and Procedures Table of Contents. This just outlines what's in the policies and procedures, which includes change of personal information, confidentiality of employment information, criminal reference check, offense declaration, pay periods and distributions, employment references, hours of work, employee classification, employment status, overtime, telephone, smoke-free environment, employee automobiles, occupational health and safety, use of physical restraint, media promotions and public relations, promotional and public relations activities, compliance with SW-SSW Act, employee/volunteer records, recruiting, selecting and hiring employees and volunteers, orientation and training of employees and volunteers, probationary period, evaluation, salary review, job vacancies, disciplinary action, grievances and complaints by employees, conflict of interest guidelines, the handling of client information, use of electronic and communications equipment, prevention and management of sexual abuse of clients by employees and volunteers, group benefit package, professional development, bereavement leave, jury or witness duty leave, leave of absence, pregnancy and parental leave, sick leave, statutory holidays, personal days, vacations, compensation of childcare expenses, employment termination date, exit interviews, media promotions and public relations, promotional and public relations activities, the handling of client information, use of electronic and communications equipment, prevention and management of sexual abuse of clients by employees and volunteers policy, and major revisions to previous editions. I will respect a client's right to privacy by keeping their information private even from their schools, parents, and/or police in adherence to Rapport's non-disclosure policy. I, Alexandria Bradbury Gunther, understand that during my placement at Eclipse Central Brampton, I may come in contact with personal information regarding youth who utilize the program and the surrounding neighborhood. This information may include, but is not limited to, information of youth and families, personal and medical disclosures, and court-related issues. I understand that this information is personal and confidential and will not be discussed outside of the center or with any person other than the youth directly. In the event that I do disclose any information, I will be subjected to loss of placement. Lastly, it is important to be aware that Eclipse does not give out any information to the community, parents, or law enforcement regarding any youth that attend our center. Signed by myself and my supervisor on September 9th. I will design presentations based on youth's wants, needs, interests as vocalized to me. This is my supervision regarding designing programs around what the youth want. My agenda item was a self-esteem presentation. My supervisor also put the self-esteem presentation, and then her session notes were that Alex has been working on a self-esteem presentation. She took the initiative on this and has engaged the youth in what they would like to see. I will reconfigure presentations based on staff feedback. This is my supervision regarding my mini-nav, which is a program that I run, and in the supervision we discussed the mini-nav. I got feedback, and then the session notes were that we spoke about the next mini-nav and what activities can be incorporated, and the follow-up was to work on the next mini-nav and incorporate that feedback. I will ensure that a safe milieu is established before implementing interventions. I will ensure that interventions are age, developmentally, and contextually appropriate. I will educate clients on how to create SMART goals. I will assist clients in creating SMART goals after assessing behavioral and psychosocial needs. I will contribute ideas for programs utilizing a strength-based approach. I will use professional and strength-based language when interacting with clients, staff, and other professionals. This is a supervision outlining appropriate language. So my agenda item says discussion on appropriate language, and my supervisor says discussion regarding language as a base for youth language culture today, and then her session note says that a simple discussion turned into a great idea for a presentation, which would be an appropriate language presentation for the youth. I will complete all required logs and tracking sheets. This is a community presentation form that we're required to fill out anytime we do any type of community outreach. So we just have to outline where we were, what we were doing, whether it's handing out flyers or if we have our table set up, who was there, how many pamphlets we handed out, how many people we talked to, and what we thought that the outcome was, and then any notes on what we can do next time. I will complete all assignments in the required APA format using the APA Writing Standards rubric. This is an example of a written assignment that I completed using the APA standards. I didn't do so well on the assignment itself, but when it came to proper use of English language and vocabulary, economy of expression, italicizing titles and words or phrases that are not English, sentence structure, spelling, grammar, and punctuation, I got 4 out of 5. I will apply the ecological systems theory to analyze different systems that impact the clients. I will keep in mind clients' differing situations when creating programs to ensure that they are inclusive. I will review intake forms and create interventions using an anti-oppressive and ecological framework. This is a youth intake form that we require all of our new clients to complete. It just outlines why they're at our center, their name, date of birth, address, email, cell phone number, cultural background, emergency contact information, if they go to school, which school they go to, how they learned about us, what their goals are for the program, what skills they can contribute to the program, what their interests are, and optional, the top 3 issues in their life right now, just so that we can get an idea of where they're at and how to meet those needs. This is the supervision regarding suspending judgment when interacting with clients. Since this was a goal, my agenda item says learning contract goals and review. My supervisor's agenda item says learning contract and human resources review and outreach at the high school, collecting program signups. And then the session notes say that Alex has been continuously on task and takes great initiative during outreach, which means I talk to all of the youth, any of the youth,